Bass with Shaw Grigsby, Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 Central on TNN Outdoors.
Think you have what it takes to land big bass? Then enter the TNN Outdoors Big Bass World Championship. You could qualify for nearly $100,000 in cash and prizes just for catching one big bass. The Nashville Network and Bass Magazine are challenging all weekend anglers to show us your prize catch. Call 1-800-799-4545 now for free information on ordering your entry packet. You must be 18 years of age to enter. Land the biggest largemouth bass in your state to win a free trip to Big Cedar Lodge near Branson, Missouri, and compete against 49 anglers for a top prize valued at nearly $100,000. And everyone who certifies a bass gets an instant winner prize package valued at $60. Call now to enter and get a free cap and a copy of Bass Magazine. Catch bass, win stuff. It's that easy. Get ready to reel in the prizes. Enter the TNN Outdoors Big Bass World Championship today.
The first red flag of the evening waving here with the Pennzoil World of Outlaws at the 24th Annual Spring Nationals. It all took place over there in turn number 3. There you see Mike Peters' car getting pulled away. Let's show you what happened. Mike Peters is the one kicking up all these rocks. He's going to start backing up on the racetrack. And this is the worst kind of hit because you see it coming. Oh, man, he gets clobbered by Dion Hindy. Then Shane Stewart gets into it, as well as Ronald Laney. Look at the gas tank getting ripped off of the back of Peters' car. Now, the 24 car, Vi, was already involved farther up the straightaway. Let's check in with Bobby Terrell, see if everybody's okay.
Well, it was quite a hit, guys, but Mike Peters, you appear to be all right. You feeling all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. The car's not in too good a shape, but I'm fine.
What happened there?
Well, there's two cars kind of touched up in front of me and turned one of them down into me and spun me around, and then I got clipped by, I guess, one or two other cars. When I got turned around there, I kind of lost track of what actually happened.
Glad to see that you're all right, Mike. A tough break for Mike Peters, Ralph.
Trop Arctic number 66 was hit with Vi on the backstretch, and that's what got the whole thing started. Well, while we got a red flag situation, everybody checking their cars, getting ready to go racing, we're going to send you back to Charlotte just for a quick second.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Katie is just back from finding her baby pictures. She feels slighted from that last segment.
No, not at all. I've just got some boxes on my back. They're falling down, but...
I hate when that happens.
It didn't happen before. So luckily, during a time like this, we're lucky to have Eli Gold standing by with his professionalism and his intellectualism.
Easy.
For us.
Easy. Well, we are glad to be able to help tide this time over right here while that red flag is flying down in Mesquite. Let's talk some more with Mark Martin. As we mentioned about 15 minutes or so ago, Mark spends a lot of time in race cars, loves it, especially when he loves winning. But in particular, he likes getting to and from the racetracks because he's an aviation buff. Let's pick up our conversation. Obviously, it's a lot of work, but can you relax? I've heard so many of your co-competitors say that they just find it relaxing to get up in the sky and go flying.
It's not relaxing for me at all, but it is a tremendous distraction, from, you have really bad days at the racetrack more often probably than you have really good days, or at least it seems that way lately. And it takes your mind off of it. We can go and break an engine or crash or whatever, and instead of being so sick at my stomach that I might throw up all night long, once I get, in the airplane, I have something that consumes my brain, and no matter how bad it's gone, that particular day, I'm able to focus on something else. Mm-hmm. And that's what you need to do. I mean, you can't punish yourself, just on and on and on for these things that when it doesn't do you any good, and I have the tendency to do that.
You're much too young for me to ask where you're going to be in 5 years. So let's go 10 or 15 years from now, when finally the day is done where you do hang up the helmet. What's the next step for Mark Martin?
10 years from now, I will be right near the sunset of my driving career. I hope to race, a little bit beyond that. I don't know if I will need to own my own team, or if I will need to have ownership in one, or if I can just be a part of Roush Racing that has 3 Winston Cup cars and 2 Busch cars and 2 truck teams and, you know, a marketing program and all this stuff. I mean, you know, I'm helping Jack any way I can build, you know, a bigger, stronger business, because if it's just the 6 car, when I'm done, I'm done.
Thoughts of Mark Martin, and time permitting, depending on the red flag and so on down at Mesquite, we may have an opportunity to come back and talk about Jack Roush a bit more. A very interesting guy, a genius, really, a brilliant man in the garage area. We'll be talking about that, time permitting.
And, you know, Eli, I think Mark Martin is summed up in one word. He's intense.
Very much so, but the man is a racer. The man is a racer, and I guess that's the best compliment you can get in this business.
He's fantastic. Been around a long time. Hopefully we'll be around for a long time. And we're going to go back after this quick break to see what's up at the Devil's Bowl in Mesquite. Stay with us. Motor Madness on TNN Friday nights continues after this.
Every 10 seconds or so, a stop sign goes up somewhere in America. And every 30 seconds, a traffic light goes up. It's as hard on your car as it is on you. It's stop and go. Stop and go. Stop and go driving. Use Pennzoil. Formulated for today's stop and go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
Good morning, sunshine. The earth says hello. You twinkle above us, twinkle below. Pretty blue, dripping, dripping, lovey, la 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 lo. Daba, city, daba, doobie, abba, daba, see.
I cannot live another day without air conditioning.
Says tomorrow's going to be hotter.
Hotter?
Like yesterday.
Yesterday? Yesterday you said you'd call Sears.
I'll call today.
You call now.
I'll call now.
Now's the time to save on Sears installed central air conditioning. Get 0% finance charge, no billing, and no payments until June with the Sears Charge Home Improvement Plan. Call now for a free in-home estimate on a Kenmore air conditioning system. State-of-the-art engineering means greater energy efficiency. A new Kenmore could save 10 to 44% on your annual cooling costs. In time, even pay for itself. Sears also offers fast emergency installation, a 5-year warranty on parts and labor, plus our satisfaction guarantee. And you know Sears will be there to back it up. Get 0% finance charge, no billing, no payments until June. Offer ends March 31st, so call now and save with Sears.
So what's the paper say about tomorrow?
Another scorcher.
Cool.
And welcome back, everybody. Katie, we got to go back to the Devil's Bowl. They're going to crank them up.
Yeah, let's see what's up with the red flag. Ralph, Steve?
Thanks, Katie. We've got the red flag pulled back. We're under a yellow situation. Everybody circulating on the racetrack. All getting back in their positions.
During the red flag, you could go into the pits sort of there and do some work on the cars. You could do everything except change tires. If you changed tires, you lost your position on the racetrack and had to go to the back.
And the 24 of Vi did not make the call back. Neither did, of course, Mike Peters in the Trop-Arctic car. I think just about everybody else, though, Steve, returned.
I believe they did. And it's huge to be in the top 4 here in advance of that A main from a money standpoint, from an exposure standpoint, obviously live here on TNN, and from a point standpoint later on in the season when they start getting real important. Let's remember the Woo champion this year gets $150 grand.
Craig Delansky leads into the green. And we got a yellow. They didn't like that start.
I think it was Delansky's part of it they didn't like, too.
No, Don Dowd went pretty wide there as well, coming off of 4. Looks like he might have got on the gas a little bit early, and Delansky's got to be the one to lead him to the line. Craig with a brand new Domelt chassis.
If you're new to World of Outlaws Sprint Car Racing, I'm sure by now you can see how important it was in those heats to get directly to the A main to bypass all of this carnage. It can be critical.
Craig, the guy we were talking about earlier, who was snowmobiling just last week, and now here he sits on the pole for the B feature out of Elk River, Minnesota. Ever been there?
Have never been to Elk River, Minnesota. Brainerd, Minnesota.
Anytime.
Big fan of Fargo. Going to win the Academy Award. Look at the different wing configurations on these cars. Some are way forward, some are in the middle, some are a little bit further back. They are cockpit adjustable, and they slide on rails.
Here we go again. This time Delansky gets on the gas first. That ought to get the green and will stay that way. He's got the lead as well.
Excellent restart here.
Stroud sits in second. Schatz is in third. And he's getting the challenge already from behind him. Here comes Kinzer to the inside. Randy Kinzer, the 14 car, trying to pick up some space. But the Domel chassis working pretty good right now inside of Delansky's car.
Well, Donnie Schatz is the driver that really has the pressure on him now because he is in the 4 spot, and that is the final transfer. That is the bubble, the bump, whatever you want to call it.
And here comes Paul McMahon to the inside of Tyler Walker. They're trying to catch up to Schatz, and look at McMahon. They're going to slide by on him outside of Schatz. Oh, and Schatz came up. Walker tried to avoid him, loops it, and slides off in turn 1. And we got a yellow.
And without a clutch to depress, to be able to keep the engine running, it's very difficult to do. And I would tell you, he did everything in his power, the 35 car, to try to keep those rear wheels spinning where he didn't bring out the yellow.
Delansky, Dowd, Tommy Estes, and McMahon should be your top 4 at this point. Let's take a look at this again. There's Tyler Walker getting pushed off.
Now watch how hard he tries to get that car back out onto the racetrack to save this thing. See the rear wheel spinning there? He's trying to stay on the gas. Come on, don't let the motor die. Don't let the motor die. Motor died. Not yet, but soon. That's tough.
Just taking a look at it, you can see Schatz moved up, and then Tyler had nowhere to go, and he just looped it. Good thing there's nothing up there, and he'd been backed into the wall.
Boy, he tried hard.
Young Tyler Walker out of Santa Clarita, California, driving the 35 this weekend. Going to be a regular on the tour. We'll be back with more for the 24th Annual Spring Nationals right after this.
My grandfather, my father, both my brothers, my kids will probably have thinning hair. Losing my hair was probably one of the most traumatic experiences in my life. But the great thing about Rogaine is you can interrupt nature. You can stop it. It takes 30 seconds. Twice a day. It's easier than brushing your teeth or putting on deodorant. About 4 months later, my wife walked by and she just was, hey, wait a second, you're growing hair. Check this out. It's thicker, it's fuller. It's great. I'm a user for life.
Oh, heartburn, huh? Yeah, guess it's nature's way of reminding me to take my time.
Monster.
So fire burning, and I'm nowhere that I haven't been before. Lord, I'm hanging on. Yeah, Lord, I'm hanging.
Championship Rodeo, Sunday, 2 Eastern on TNN, the Nashville Network.
A promotional consideration provided for and fee paid by Diamond P Sports. We're back for the 24th Annual Spring Nationals here at Devil's Bowl Speedway, Mesquite, Texas. And the B feature still getting set to get back underway.
Well, it was 12 laps. We got a couple of them down, I think, right? We got, what, 2 laps are down, 10 laps. And there was always the possibility here that WU officials could say, hey, guys, you've had your fun. That's it. You 4, go to the A, push off the A.
Well, right now, the 4 that would transfer would be Delansky. And we've got Stroud, Estes, and Schatz. They flip-flop Schatz and McMahon. Bobby Gerald?
This racetrack is awfully tough to drive on right now because it's so slick. And Steve Kinzer, you know this place very well. You were here at the first one. How tough is it for these guys in the B main?
Well, it's going to be tough. This track's normally not this condition, but we got on it way early with the sun up, and it's just made it real slick conditions. Real hard to pass on.
In the A main tonight, you're going to have to come from way far back. Can you get there?
It's going to be tough for me. We're starting way back and on a track that is going to be tough to pass on. Maybe they'll find something in 3 and 4. We'll just see what happens.
All right, Steve Kinzer's going to be fun to watch in the A right now. It's all about the B, Ralph.
Well, you're watching the fight for second taking place right there. Tommy Estes on the outside of Stroud, and he's going to get him. Tommy Estes to second.
That was a beautifully executed pass, so at least at this level, they're able to do some passing, and Estes is not done yet.
No, he's looking pretty strong right now out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tommy Estes working on the outside, cuts to the inside, and Delansky's got his hands full. Schott still holds on to the final transfer, but not for long. That's changed. McMahon's got it now, but this is the hot shot right here.
And here is his best opportunity to pass, between 3 and 4. Can't get it done. Delansky holds him off. Whoa, and they are nerf bar to nerf bar down the front stretch.
That is the best action on the race. Oh, and look at this. Estes got broken suspension on the left front. He's out of it.
You know, he dropped that left front wheel down off the racetrack into one of those infield ruts, and I think he just tore it apart. I don't believe he had any contact with it.
Now we're looking at a yellow again. Tommy Estes, who's been finding victory lane here since back in 1984. 5 laps are down, and Estes is out of this, and that's really a shame because he was looking so quick, Steve.
Now watch this, coming into turn number 2.
Oh, did he hit the tire?
I think he did. I think he may have hit the tire.
Well, remember, we saw it from inside Daniel Lisowski's car. Those drivers like to dance around on the bottom side down there. And as we told you earlier, you cannot see those front tires. You're guessing with feel as to how close that loose, nimble tire is to those big white tires.
Good morning, sunshine. The earth says hello.
Dirt and water. You've heard about it. Now own it.
Mesquite, Texas. Devil's Bowl Speedway. One of the most historic dirt ovals in the country. True legend.
And what a huge crowd Lenny Edwards got in here tonight with an earlier start time for TV purposes. We wonder if it might be a little light. There's not a seat left. He's got probably 12,000 seats in here.
Victor Hensley out of Oakland City, Indiana, getting pushed off in the 51P, ready to go racing again. And there is a look at the final transfer spot right there. Donnie Schott, the 15, holds it. And Randy Kinzer sits right behind him, and then Dean Jacobs, the Frigidaire car.
Well, whoever the top 4 transferees are, they will have a very limited amount of time to make whatever changes they need to these cars to possibly cool them down a little bit. That's usually not a problem. For sure, they got to put fuel in them because they run as little fuel as possible for weight purposes. Dave Reap, what you got?
A dejected Tommy Estes. Tommy, it looked like in the replays that maybe you gained contact with that inside tire. What did happen?
Yeah, you know, I just tried to get it, land a little rubber over there coming off the bottom, and I tried to get a run on Delansky, and just a little too low, you know, driver error.
It's a tough question, but you were a faster car. What if you just would have sat back? Maybe looking back on it, is that what you might have done?
You know, you're probably right. You know, hindsight's always better, I guess, but I come here to win every race I go out for, and, you know, either way, if I'd have finished in the top 4, I'd have still been in the 5th row of the main. It's just driver error.
These guys love checker flags. Guys, back to you.
The Outlaw Code, no excuses.
If we get another yellow, they're going to see a checker at the same time. This one will be called complete. Delansky leads down back to the line. Schott and McMahon going at it for 3rd. They're smart. They'll just take the positions and get into the A main at this point.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's why Tommy Estes feels he said driver error. I should have been satisfied with 2nd, but you're such a racer, you don't think like that.
Donnie Schott went bouncing up along the outside of 3 and 4, and I thought it was going to cost him a lot of ground. There's a good battle right there. Dean Jacobs in the Frigidaire number 1F, and look at this. We got a challenger coming up on the inside, sliding right past both him and Randy Kinzer. The red number 85, Bob Ewell, out of Forney, Texas.
Where did he come from?
12th, if you really want to know.
Thank you. That's why I asked. And he's right now running 5th, and he only needs a few more car lengths to take that final transfer spot.
He's 1 spot away from Schott. There's Schott just going by the frame. Here's a look at the top 4. There's Schott. There's Ewell. Ewell been running here 20 years. Started racing here at Devil's Bowl back in 1977. Great speed shot.
When they run away from the camera, I love that.
Delansky doing a great job of holding on to the spot in front of Drought, who's got that front suspension all cleaned up. Stay away from the tires, Don.
Yeah, he was the first to prove that that was not
well, those front suspension pieces are nice and frail, you know, Steve, and you clip those big, heavy tractor tires down there, and you're going to rip it off. And look at that. Watch Delansky. There's Drought. This is going to be a great fight.
Delansky, are you nuts? Didn't you see what Tommy Estes Jr. did?
Here comes a white flag for Delansky. Just one more tour around Devil's Bowl, and he's going on to the A-main.
That's why a sponsor like Burger King gets affiliated with an athlete like that, because they just don't have any quit in them.
Coming off in turn 4, 4 cars going on to the A-main.
Oh, baby!
Craig Delansky gets the win. Drought will go along with him. McMahon and Schott. And those two guys come up shy just a spot as Ewell finishes 5th, and only 4 cars go on to the A-main.
But I'll tell you what, tip of the hat to Bobby Ewell. He came from 12th to 5th and put on one heck of a show. Well, that means there's only one race left, Mr. Shaheen.
That's the A feature. Mr. Evans with 30 laps set to go with the Pennzoil World of Outlaws.
A few weeks ago in Paris, California, the A feature ran all green, and nobody could believe that it happened. Could happen again tonight.
And it'll probably only take about 8 minutes if it does. 30 laps, green flag racing, 16, 15 seconds a lap. What's that? Let's go down to Bobby Gerald, who's standing by with Andy Hillenberg.
That's right. Andy Hillenberg is going to be starting on the outside of the front row for tonight's main event. Andy, what do you think about that outside starting position in the big money race?
I don't know. You know, we may lose to him there on the start. He may get a run off the hill down here coming out of 4 and beat us. But it's going to be a long race tonight. So if he does, we'll fall in there and see if we can catch him a little later.
Good luck, man. Andy Hillenberg is going to be putting the hammer down in STP car number 2.
Jeff Spicer coming over to congratulate him, who does all the PR and marketing for the folks at STP with Richard Petty and the King and everybody else who runs the STP stickers. Hey, the 24th Annual Spring Nationals, the A feature, coming up when we return to Devil's Bowl. Feature has just been completed with the Pennzoil World of Outlaws. We're just outside of Dallas, Texas, Devil's Bowl Speedway. There are the 4 cars, the top 4, that are going to be transferring right on to the A-main. Craig Delansky, Don Drought, Paul McMahon, and Donnie Schott. So the 2 Rookie of the Year contenders will be in the A feature. Let's send you back to Charlotte now while we get the A feature cars ready to go. Here's Steve Burns and Katie Hawk.
All right, welcome back. What?
I was just sitting here thinking, how about a Quaker State Rockin' replay?
Golly! That'd be a good thing. Last week, hopefully you enjoyed Motor Madness. We were in Memphis, Tennessee, and we got into those crazy, those wild, those mean, those big, those bad monster trucks. Take a look.
He's got a split finger wrap and his rope pulled way too tight. He's got a lunatic smile, for he's really drawn deep tonight. He's got a fever, 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 fever. Grab a hold of anything and hold on tight. He'll hit you like the venom from a rattlesnake bite. We all here, cause it's not all there tonight. One last breath and time turns inside out. Then the gate busts open to the world he dreams about. He's got a fever, 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 fever. Stick a rope on anything cause he don't care. He'd even take a ride in an electric chair. We all here cause he's not all there tonight.
Exciting stuff last week in Memphis. We'll bring some more monster truck action to you on Friday's Motor Madness right here on TNN. Right now, let's get back there.
It's time for the A-main. Can I say it now?
What?
Ralph, guys, drop the rag. Welcome back to Devil's Bowl Speedway, Mesquite, Texas. The A feature car is getting pushed off. Let's go down to the pit road area and check in with Dave Reed.
Guys, when it comes to winning this thing at the Outlaw events here, he's won 3 of the last 6. Gary Wright, you're starting outside the third row tonight. Can you get the job done?
I think so. We were the same setup. We won the Winter Nationals in '95, and hopefully it'll work this time.
Granted, they've had 1,200 events here, but no one's had more lap time than Gary Wright. Bobby Gerald?
Get it.
Well, here's the deal on tires as far as tonight's feature event is concerned. The way it's going to go is that we'll have a pretty even mix between the Goodyears and the McCrearys. Up on the front row, the pole sitter, Stevie Smith, will be on a Goodyear. On the outside, Andy Hillenberg will be on a McCreary. In the second row, you're going to find the same thing where you've got a Goodyear for Lasowski, you've got a McCreary for Joe Gertie, actually, who starts inside of the third row. So a little bit of a tire war going on right now as we stand in the Goodyear tire truck as everybody plays that guessing game on the dirt about what tire should I go with, what's going to be the hot setup for the main event.
Well, Ralph, you and I went through the pits, talked to a lot of drivers. The consensus was if it got hard and slick like you're seeing right now from our onboard cameras, there wouldn't be a tire advantage.
Yeah, that's exactly right. If there's a little moisture in there, most of the people felt the McCreary would be pretty good. And the one thing they say is we're on board with Denny Lasowski is that this racetrack can have moisture in it, but it tends to get a glaze over the top, and that tends to keep the moisture inside.
Our last day feature live here on TNN from Paris Auto Speedway. You could see the air in the tires when the race was over. Nobody had a left rear tire, or right rear tire rather, than had much left in it at all. You could literally probably puncture a tire with your thumbnail.
That's the view Joe Gertie is going to have as you look just inside and underneath the nose wing on Gertie's car. That's just scraping right along the bottom there.
You know, Andy Hillenberg said he expected a long race. I don't know if he meant that it was going to be 30 laps or he thought there were going to be a number of cautions that maybe you could use to your advantage to work your way to the front. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back with the final race here from Devil's Bowl, Pennzoil World of Outlaws.
Outlaws at Devil's Bowl Speedway. What a better way to kick off your Friday night. The A feature set to go racing, and let's introduce you to the A feature car.
This is why we came. This may look like an inverted start to you as we go through the grid. It is not. Stevie Smith on the bowl. Inside. Outside, Andy Hillenberg, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, the SPP car.
Danny the Dude Lasowski with one of our onboard cameras is going to line up alongside the reigning champ, Mark Kinzer.
Joe Garrity, son of the engine builder, the 3G car, the spectacle, great young. And Gary Wright, who doesn't run on a regular basis with the world. The Outlaws that can be dominating here.
Row 4, Johnny Herrera and Rick Zeal. Zeal already his first time ever in a vibrant dash.
And now you're saying, where's Steve Kinzer? Where's Sammy Swindell? Where are all the heroes? They're coming. They're coming. Houdenchild inside, row number 7. Sammy Swindell outside.
Aaron Berryhill's going to run an Indy car on Sunday. He's got a sprint car to deal with right now in Hodnick. And look at this. Here's where it starts getting deep. 20th is Dave Blaney. 21st, Jeff Swindell. And 22nd, Steve Kinzer.
I'd say it looks like an inverted start, but it isn't. Trust me on this.
It is going to be a wild A feature here at Devil's Bowl Speedway. Half mile just outside of Dallas, Texas. We've got 30 laps with the Outlaws.
We have 30 laps, and 20 drivers will transfer to the next race, wherever that is.
Stevie Smith has won 2 races in 1996. Last win coming in Davenport, Iowa back in July of 96. So he really has had a drought.
5 races, 5 winners. That streak could be extended to 6 different winners tonight. In fact, I think it probably will be.
Here we go. Green flag is waving.
Stevie Smith, that custom-built car out of Pennsylvania. His dad cheering him on, the Black 19.
Look at the banging going on back there. It's Blaney and Kinzer and Swindell all fighting for space. Look at him get trapped in there. Look at Steve Kinzer going to the middle. He was already in the bottom. Here's the leader completing lap number 1. Stevie Smith out front of Mark Kinzer.
I couldn't believe that log jam at the back of the pick. Unbelievable.
Gary Brazier bumping up to the wall on the front straightaway. And now Mopar, as Lance Blevins runs on the bottom. Jeff Swindell is dead last as Mark Kinzer takes the lead.
This is not good news. Mark Kinzer is leading the points, but that'd be not good news for his fellow competitors who are stranded at the back of this highly unusual A feature.
Stevie Smith, that black and yellow number 19, runs in second place. Hillenberg getting along back in third. Then it's Gary Wright, Danny Lasowski, Johnny Herrera, Joe Gertie, and Don Brown.
But your leader is 5M Mark Kinzer. Here's Dave Blaney. He's struggling with the rest of them.
He's just one spot in front of Steve Kinzer, and they are a long ways away from being in contention for this one.
You know, you might think that Stevie Smith said, let's let him lead this thing and burn up his right rear tire. I don't think so. On this hard slick racetrack, you can't let him get away.
Dave Blaney is 14th right now. Steve Kinzer is 16th, and Johnny Herrera off in turn 2. That'll bring out a yellow. He's got flames coming up on the right side of the motor, Steve, and fluid coming out of the bottom.
Oh, yeah, he has blown that baby up. And he wants out. I think it's getting a little hot under the seat.
Look at the fluids coming out of the, just in front of the left front.
What do you think, coolant?
That's Gil Saunders, number 47. Gil been spinning the wrenches on that car. Been coming to Devil's Bowl for over 21 years. Coolant probably coming out of the radiator on the front there, but...
There was something flammable, obviously. If you figured out a way to burn water, I want the bat.
Good, Evans. I like that.
This will not take long. Did you notice tonight they dispensed with the usual 4 abreast salute to the crowd thing, I guess, for time considerations, but we hope to bring that back in future televised Outlaw events here on TNN. We got a bunch of them, probably 10 more to go this year.
Sammy Swindell, as you look at Mark Kinzer, moved up from 14th to 8th. You remember was trapped deep in the field of this one, and seems like he might be on his way up. Now, the key is that this yellow helps out those big names that were trapped back there.
That's what Andy Hillenberg was talking about, I think. Managing the yellows. He figured there were going to be 2 or 3 of them minimum.
Well, Dave Blaney is up to 13th, and Steve Kinzer is up to 15th. 4 laps completed in this one as we get set to go back to green.
26 laps remaining. And they will start, as we talked earlier, at the orange cone at the very center of the back straightaway. That's where the lead car nails the gas, and you can't pass anybody until you personally have passed that cone. And everybody obeying that rule. Amazing for Outlaws.
Stevie Smith looking pretty good in the 19. Gary Wright looks like he was ready to challenge Hillenberg back and forth. There they are, right there. And Danny Lasowski just behind Gary Wright.
Ooh, and Stevie Smith bobbled just a little bit and got himself past.
Andy Hillenberg slide by. You go on board with the dude. Lasowski working his way up the front stretch. On the gas, off the gas as he slides her sideways into 1. Wide open as he comes up 2.
Almost like driving a slick track car, if you've ever done that.
We did last night. That dude was pretty good. Oh, and Sammy Swindell clipped the inside of the racetrack, and the number 1 is done. He broke the suspension.
And that will bring out yet another yellow, which is good news, as you said, for guys like Steve Kinzer at the back, Dave Blaney, and some of the others.
Well, it does not take much to break those suspension pieces on the inside of the racetrack here. Watch the number 1.
Remember, there's no weight limit on these cars, so they're down to like 1,200 pounds.
Guess what? He clipped the tire again, Steve.
Yep, I saw it. That's the 3rd car tonight to do that.
Well, remember, folks, you cannot, from the driver's perspective, see those front tires. And it looks like everybody feels that the bottom groove is a quick way around this racetrack. So they're down there as low as they can go. So when you can't see it, you don't know just how low you can go.
And this is a man who has won over 500 sprint car races, Sammy Swindell.
Bobby Gerald?
Down here in the pits with Gary Stanton, who owns the Mopar car number 75. You guys have talked about it already. A driver change in the car. Joey Saldana has left the team. And Gary Brazier is the new young driver here, Gary Stanton. First of all, what happened with Joey, and then what do you expect from Gary?
Well, I really don't know what happened to Joey. He decided to leave the team, and good luck to him. He's a great driver, and he's going to be good. We're going to give Gary Brazier a shot at the ride and hopefully do some good with him.
Gary Brazier out there right now making laps in that car number 75. Gary's father, Steve, will come and be the crew chief on this car. He's still in Australia right now, but in 2 weeks he will come to the States. He's going to make his home base in Kentucky and turn the wrenches on this thing for the full World of Outlaw Tour. He's so committed that he sold the family business back in Australia to do this.
And Gary Stanton has taken the reins of that team over. I mean, on a day-to-day, hour-to-hour basis. He is a hands-on owner now. And it's just like running a restaurant. If it's a mom-and-pop store, you better be there all the time. And that's what Gary Stanton learned in this whole episode. And looking forward to racing with the Australian father and son.
Let's find out what happened to Johnny Herrera. Dave Reap is over there.
Well, the flames are out on the race car, but the flames in the driver, I'll tell you, that's a tough way to go out. Johnny, what happened?
Well, apparently something got up and knocked the nozzle line off or something and started that fire there, and much we can do about it. Can't get back out there.
If you look down at the engine, you can see right where that nozzle came off.
And Gil Saunders going to have to do a little paint and body work on that one now. And Steve Kinzer is all the way up to 11th. Remember, he started 22nd. Dave Blaney doing a little bit better than that. He started a spot or two ahead of Kinzer.
I don't know if we can find him out there on the racetrack anywhere, but the 7TW car of Jeff Swindell. We've talked about being Californians. Ralph and I grew up with hot rods with flames on them, me a lot earlier than he did. But they have gone to protect the flames on that car, what's called helicopter tape. It's $560 for a 36-yard, 12-inch roll, military stuff, and you just put it on there. I mean, nothing burns it off or chips it off from dirt coming off the tires.
Everything with the military and the government's expensive, right? Yeah. Green flag getting set to go as we cross that orange cone. Mark Kinzer out front. There's Daniel Lisowski trying to close in on Gary Wright.
And coming down low. How low can he go? It's Stevie Smith.
How close will they go to those big white tires again? Look at them dancing along the bottom of the racetrack. Gary Wright not afraid to go down near those white tires. There you saw Steve Kinzer, the green car, as they come up the front straightaway again.
Gary Wright, that 9 car you talked about, is still a player in this thing. He's running 4th right now, but with, I tell you, Mark Kinzer out front, though, man.
Watch Lisowski here, Steve. He is right down around those tires as they came through the first 2 turns. Now he dips back up to the high side. Let's see if we can stay with this again. Watch him down here in 1 and 2. He's not afraid of these tires. Look at this.
Lisowski started 3rd on the grid, but I think some of that is the car's just not handling all that well.
Look at them dancing around that big white tire. There's Steve Kinzer, the Quaker State number 11, and Blaney coming with him as they try to work their way up through the field. On board with the dude again.
And behind the dude, not far behind him now, is Steve Kinzer. He's moved up to about 10th.
Right along those tires. There's that fight for second. There's your leader. Stevie Smith is in second place. Andy Hillenberg running in 3rd. Gary Wright sits in 4th. Joe Gertie moving up a position. Lisowski holds on to 5th. Then it's Hodgeshot.
And traffic soon is going to play a big, big factor, especially, obviously, for Mark Kinzer. And Steve Kinzer, if anybody could benefit from the traffic, it's a guy like Kinzer with such magnificent car control and drives 5 cars ahead of him. There you see the green number 11 Quaker State car. He doesn't mind them getting the traffic at all. The 9 car looks like it's got a broken wing strut. Gary Wright's car.
See if we get a look at that as we look up the backside here of Lisowski's car. Look at the smoke coming off the tires as they get on the gas coming off the turrets. That's Jack Hodenshield.
Well, that means the track is getting more like pavement than dirt.
And he's going to go right around Lisowski. I think Danny might have made a bad tire choice. He slipped it backwards.
I think you're absolutely right. That's why he was so spectacular with the onboard camera. The car was just all over the place.
There's Dave Blaney. He's coming up through the field. They're not done yet. And Andy Hillenberg has gotten around Stevie Smith for second place now. And look at, oh boy, Blaney and Kinzer are flying. Oh, that cost Dave.
I told you he had a lot of car control. That was a beautiful move. Kinzer, now, the track is coming to Steve Kinzer. Whatever tire, whatever setup he put on this race car, he's letting the track come to him.
The 8 car of Terry McCarl done, the 8H pulling to the infield.
Kinzer right now is going to be saying, give me a yellow. Show me the yellow.
Jack Hodenshield has gone from 13th to 5th as you go on board with Gertie, who's sitting running around in 4th position, I believe, right now. 3rd position now. The fight for third you're watching is with Gertie. On board with him. Up the front straightaway we go. Mark Kinzer continues the lead as you watch this fight for third. Andy Hillenberg running in second. Gertie is third. Stevie Smith is fourth. Gary Wright is fifth. Hottenchild is sixth, but he just lost that spot to Steve Kinzer as that fight continues. Gertie circulating around the racetrack. There's that fight back there with Steve Kinzer. He's already caught up to Gary Wright. Look at the king go, and here comes Jack Hodenshield, the wild chop, and Steve Kinzer now right onto the backside of Wright, and you can see that broken wing strut.
Yes, you can. He's a broken bird with a broken wing. Kinzer will take full advantage of that. Oh, look at the drive Kinzer puts up at 41 years old, the winningest race car driver ever on dirt.
Jack Hodenshield right behind him looking to capitalize on it if something happens in this fight. This is the fight for third that you're watching. Fourth.
Well, apparently the wing on Gary Wright is not sustaining any further damage. It appears to be maintaining its integrity. Let's go
Yellow
back to Dave
flag
Reed.
is out. We've got a car off, and they pull it back in. We had Trout off in turn 2. Dave Reed.
Now the yellow finally does come out, and Steve Kinzer gets underneath the Gary Wright. I'm with Scott Gerken. What a magical performance. Did he have that look in his eye tonight?
Yeah, he did. After qualifying as bad as we did, he's pretty determined in the race here. He was going to get to the front, or something would probably happen.
Tire combination, what'd you choose?
We ran a 40 right rear and a 25C left rear. I don't know how everybody's going to do on tires. It's hurt tires pretty bad, so we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully we'll get through it all right.
That seems to be the general consensus in the pits now, is that yellow is definitely going to help out Steve Kinzer.
Scott Gerken, of course, the crew chief for Steve Kinzer. Those were Goodyear numbers you were hearing thrown out if you were wondering which brand they had chosen. Steve's running with the Goodyear tires. So this one is really getting to be interesting, Steve. Mark Kinzer up front has got Schatz, Barry Hill, and Hodnett between him and Hillenberg. And then it looks like Blevins and one other car maybe between that and the machine of Gertie, which is back there in Terry Gray, actually in the 10 car. Then between Hillenberg and Gertie, which is a fight for second place. Then it gets really interesting because it goes Stevie Smith, Kinzer, and Gary Wright all together. Let's check in with Bob Gerald, who's standing by with Carl Kinzer.
Well, Carl Kinzer, crew chief for Mark Kinzer, and so far so good, huh?
Yeah, we're getting right around good. Got about 9 laps to go and a couple of lap cars between us, and everything looks good right now, but it could change.
You guys run the Goodyear tires. What'd you go with as your combination?
We went with a 40 and a 25C. The right rear is, it's almost the hardest tire they got, one step harder for a 62, but the track's taking its toll on the tires tonight.
Congratulations here, maybe. A little bit later on. We might be talking to you, Carl. All right. He says a few more laps, and he's hoping so.
Well, a little of that tire strategy over the years wore off on his nephew Steve Kinzer because I think they went with almost exactly the same compound. There again to let the racetrack come to them, and we are green.
Oh, Steve Kinzer up on the backstretch, Steve. What an unbelievable bit of driving by Steve Kinzer. He stood on it, got it back up on the racetrack, and he is fighting back in the back.
He's got Stevie Smith, the black 19 car, right in front of him.
And Gertie goes wide. There comes Steve right underneath him. What a great bit of driving going on back there. Look at Steve up onto the outside. He is going after Stevie Smith.
Mark Kinzer is leading, but all eyes, 24,000 of them right now on that green number 11.
That's a fight for third, and we've got a yellow as it looks like the Mopar car of Frazier is off in turn number 3. Yes.
The young Ozzie was giving that car a real good ride for Gary Stanton. Showed a lot of promise, a lot of composure. He's only 25 years of age. The first time he ever saw Devil's Bowl, we give him a TNN live hand.
Well, let's remember, Steve Kinzer started this event in 22nd position. He now sits in 3rd.
He started 3rd from last.
Well, actually, they're going to credit him with 4th because of the last lap before the yellow came out. Unbelievable bit of driving. He just the whole car off the back straightaway. He is right back in the thick of this now. stretching out the arms a little bit. And he'll hunker right down on top of that steering wheel. Mark Kinzer, the working 5M, the Maxim chassis car, the reigning champion for the Pennzoil World of Outlaws.
Yeah, but Steve Kinzer has only 6 laps, about 3 miles, to try to pass and take the lead from Mark.
Now they're showing Steve in third. Moving him up to third. That's the view Joe Gertie has as Daniel Soski slides the 1W up in front of him.
But he has 6 cars he has to pass. Lappers or not.
Well, one of them is the second place car of Hillenberg, which is 2 cars in front of him. Then it's going to have to be Schatz and Berryhill. He's going to have to get around to get a shot at cousin Mark.
And even if you're 1 lap down and you want to let the guy by, it's difficult to do because you don't know where he is. You don't have rear view mirrors like you do in Indy cars or Winston Cup cars. You're trying to maintain your line and not get in his way. Let him find a way around you.
Well, and just catching Mark is going to be tough enough. Passing him after will be a whole nother trick.
Oh, absolutely. But I can build this thing, can't I?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Your promoter side is showing you.
Oh, well. Be there someday.
All right, Mark Kinzer.
There's that orange cone. Now, Mark Kinzer can get on the gas anytime he wants to, coming to that orange cone. But nobody can pass anybody until they've gone past that orange cone.
If Kinzer, Mark, doesn't break anything, can he be beaten 6 laps?
Tough.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's going to be fun watching Steve try.
And it's going to be fun watching that 2 car of Andy Hillenberg, too. He'll pretty well throw out the rule book here.
Here we go. Mark is on the gas. Andy Hillenberg gets around Schott.
Yep, does it down low.
And Steve Kinzer's gotten around Blevins.
And now has his eyes on the number 11 car.
That's Hodnick. He'll go to work on Hodnick next. The Sel Michelle number 11. Look at him standing up, coming off of turn 2.
Awesome.
The Quaker State number 11 going to the high side. And back to the bottom.
This is an 800 horsepower wing ballet.
And Stevie Smith just passed Steve Kinzer.
Yep.
What a great job by Stevie Smith.
See ya. I think that's a surprise. Kinzer coming back on him, but I don't know if he's got anything left. I don't know if anybody's got anything left tire-wise.
Stevie Smith doing a great job of getting around Steve Kinzer. That puts him in third. Steve is now in fourth. Mark Kinzer continuing to lead this one. Bobby Gerald.
There's big news, guys. I just talked with Bobby Jackson, the World of Outlaws Director of Competition, and he thinks that he hears something with Mark Kinzer's muffler that has gone bad. We don't know if the muffler is off or what the problem is. There's a possibility that we could be looking at another disqualification situation. No official ruling yet, but that just adds a little more drama to the situation.
These muffler races, Steve, can be a real problem.
That's right. You saw what happened live on CNN a few weeks ago in Paris, California with Dave Blaney. You thought won. Well, just before we went up the air, he told you otherwise because a muffler had come apart. But that muffler, they knew was cracked when they went into the A-main, so they had to accept some of that.
Well, we'll have to see what the story is with Mark Kinzer as we continue to wind this one down. Look at the smoke pouring off of the rear wheel of Steve Kinzer as he abuses that big Goodyear Eagle on the right side of the car.
They've all pretty well abused the big Goodyear Eagles or the Missouri on the right side of those cars. But Kinzer, what a tiger. Oh.
Right now, Mark Kinzer continues to lead this one as he comes off of turn number 4. He'll be looking at the white flag. Second place is Andy Hillenberg. He's not going to catch Mark, but he might have his hands full of Stevie Smith. Starts to reel him in.
And you can bet, if and when Mark Kinzer in that 5 car takes the checkered, when he comes down pit road, there'll be woo officials all over that 5M car.
Checkered flag for Mark Kinzer. The 5M working back car is a winner here at Devil's Bowl for the 24th annual Spring Nationals. Andy Hillenberg comes across the line in second. Stevie Smith is third. And Steve Kinzer, who started the event in 22nd, comes home in fourth. We'll come back to talk to the winner, Mark Kinzer, and find out if his muffler clears the post-race tech inspection when we return to the Pennzoil World of Outlaws. Welcome back to Devil's Bowl Speedway in Mesquite, Texas, where we have just completed 30 laps of the 24th Annual Spring Nationals. Mark Kinzer in that working 5M with the wheels in the air picked up another victory. Let's go down to Bobby Jarrell.
There was some concern, guys, about the possibility that a muffler had come off the 5M. That was not the case. It's all good. Mark Kinzer is the winner, and congratulations to you.
Thanks, Bob. I want to say hi to my family at home, my new baby boy, Carl Jr., and my wife, Cindy, and everybody here done a real good job. My crew, Bobby and Jamie, and Chris and Ray Switzer, they worked real hard tonight. And, of course, working Maxim, Ray Williams, Phil Durst, are one heck of a team.
We are out of time, and congratulations to you, Mark Kinzer, on a job well done. The winner of the 5M, his third feature win this season.
The 96 champion picking up another win here in Devil's Bowl Speedway. Let's show you the top 5 as we take a quick look at it. Mark Kinzer holds on to the win. The car checks out. Andy Hillenberg, Steve Smith, Steve Kinzer, and Jack Hodenschild rounding out the top 5. That is going to complete things here in Charlotte for Dave Reef, or I should say Devil's Bowl for Dave Reef and Bobby Jarrell, my good buddy Steve Evans. I'm Ralph Sheheen. So long from Devil's Bowl. Let's send it back to Charlotte.
All right, Ralph, great job as usual, Ralph, Steve, and all. Wonderful, superb job, and a great lineup of action tonight.
Boy, Mark Kinzer was getting it, wasn't he?
I'm telling you, some of those wheels up like that, See ya. Well, we're going to be back. We got a little bit more to tell you before we go off the air from Motor Madness. We'll talk about next week. Stay with us.
Why they stick with the gum that won't. Non-stick Freedent, the perfect gum for almost perfect teeth.
And we'll be going all the way to Woodstock, Georgia for the Demolition Derby. It's right here next week on Motor Madness.
Don't forget, Boss Hog.
Boss Hog, yeah, promo. Yes, he's here's your little prize for doing such a great job, Steve.
I thank you.
Your head's too big, but we'll see y'all next week. Join us right here on Motor Madness.
See ya.